Here is my second UDI 908 speedboat, and I'm going to replace some of the electronics with a Planet 2-channel +2 transmitter and a matching receiver. This is the original transmitter that came with it. I think I prefer stick control, so I've gone for that. And I'm trying to replace the damage inside. This boat will drive itself, it will stop at times, and it's generally inconsistent in its behaviour. And so the first thing to replace is the transmitter and receiver combination with a proper combination, and then and take that receiver out. It's glued in with some silicone, so I can cut that away and just plug that into the other receiver, and that should then function, so they've told me. I'm also going to try and stop water ingress by putting some Vaseline on the propeller shaft in. Unscrew that, take it out, put it over that and push it in again. Apparently it leaks water in through there. So there is a nut there that I can get to with an Allen key and then remove that prop shaft. So we do all that. See if that helps the machine. It is a lovely double skinned speedboat that dives and leaps out of the water, and I haven't seen anything like it. There is the original receiver. I'm going to replace that with a slightly different shape one. This receiver clips out. You can undo 4 clips on the side and open it up, and I've found that there is water in there. So that is why I'm replacing the receiver. I need to cut away this silicone and then pull that plug out very, very carefully. Finally, I managed to pull all of the pins out of the receiver, and there is perhaps a little water got in there. And clean these up a little and then put them on the other receiver. Now, what way round do they go? I don't know, so hopefully I only plug in one way. I've plugged in 1 to 3, the first 3 channels, I presume. So I'll plug in the battery, give it some power, and see if it likes that. So now I turn the transmitter on. It's of course got batteries. I plug power in to the receiver, and that turns it on as well. So let's see what happens. And I think they've paired. It should have a red light on there. That has, so that's cool. And now I check I have control. Okay, so that needs reversing because left servo movement is going right. Also, it's not centralised. And then how about the throttle? Let's see if we have throttle forward. That is actually correct way around, and that is functioning. Cool. So I just need to reverse the servo movement. Now at the moment, when I go left, the rudder, instead of going left, goes right. And that is incorrect. So the way you fix that and reverse the channel operation is you switch the transmitter off, pull the trim to the right, switch it on, that goes from red to red and green. It is now. Swap those over. When I put that to the left, it goes to the left. Cool. Also had to get this rudder trimmed straight and true. You do that up and down using this trim function. That's for the rudder steering and that is for the throttle. Another thing on this transmitter is something called dual rates, and this is the dual rate on off switch for the throttle channel, channel 2. Now when I have it switched off, this operates normally, so full throttle. When I put it into dual rates, and it's now switched on, it depends where I've set this, and I've set that to minimum by putting a screwdriver in there and rotating it, and now it has much more gentle control and throttle. So this is the rudder response. When I switch dual rates on, it does a much gentler response, and in fact if I go into the steering channel 1 dual rates control here, find it and rotate it, if I put that on full left rudder and then rotate it, that is the maximum amount it has, which is the same as normal, and that is the minimum. So I could give it very little control if I wanted to. So I'm going to make it halfway. So I can alter the sensitivity of the steering, and I can alter the speed using channel 2, and that's quite important if you hand the boat to someone else who's learning, for example, or if you just want to drive it differently, I suppose. When powering off, it's receiver power first and then transmitter. This boat doesn't have an on-off switch, so I literally have to plug it on and off with the battery. Now I just want to try and make this more waterproof, so I'm going to put it in a balloon. That's a common tip apparently. I've got a packet of balloons for £1.59, and I'm going to put the receiver in that to try and stop the water hitting it. Now, it was fiddly. I got the receiver in the balloon. There you go. That's just going to sit in there. Put the aerial in there. That was how it was. Good, so that's in. Now all I need to do is put some Vaseline on that prop shaft, and that should stop water ingress, and then we give it another go and see how the boat performs. I actually have replaced the electronics. Cool. First of all I need to loosen that nut there. And it should slide out. Now I need to put Vaseline on that, slide it in and tighten it up again. So I stopped filming at the boating lake and something really strange happened. The boat dived underwater. There's a lot of weed now in that pond and it got stuck. In fact, it didn't come up. Now, on Saturday the record was 15 seconds. I filmed 10.5 seconds. This was underwater for so much longer. And after about a minute or more, I went and got my waders. When I came to the lake again, back to the lake, the boat was afloat. Now, it had done damage to the Lipo alarm, that's what this is. And it's reading all funny readings on the battery, and the battery I think was also damaged. It's puffed, so it had a lot of water in it. So I put another battery in. So now on normal rates it has reverse, forward, right rudder and left rudder, so that's fine. So the water ingress this time damaged the battery and a Lipo alarm. I've now replaced them and the model runs fine again. It runs really nicely on dual rates. I've set it so that throttle and steering are less, and it runs really gentle with those, half speed, and the steering won't snatch you around. So there is UDI 908 number 2 fixed.